What's going on, guys? It's Erica with Not Your Average EDC, and tonight we have a couple of things to talk about. Probably the most important is the week 1 update for this month's carry, but also some K390 differences between these two knives. So we're gonna get into that, but first, what are we sipping and flipping? That's important too. Sip. Local brew. This is from Post and Beam. It's called Soft Sounds. It's a Japanese rice lager. I've never had this, and it's not open yet either. So we're gonna open it together, try it together. But what are we flipping? What are we flipping? Probably the pair of 3. Out of all the knives that are gonna be in this conversation tonight, this is the only real flippy one. I can't flip the other knives very well. So pair of 3 for a flip. Let's try the beer first. I have already rolled it. So we're good. We'll crack her open and see how she is. I've never had anything like this before, I don't think. Okay. Let me know how it is, guys. Cheers. That's very good. That is very good. Fuck. That's great. A guy at the brewery last night recommended that to Nicole and I. I'm glad I got it. It's delicious. It's very soft, but lots of flavor at the end. Okay, let's talk about knives now. So, what should we talk about first? The K390 thing or just the updates in general? Let's do the K390 thing first, right? Okay, so I have 2 knives that I'm testing in K390 right now. We have the Wharncliffe Delica that originates from Japan. And we have the pair of 3, Colorado here in the States. These are different, 100% different. So I am putting these through the same tasks at work. Like literally I will have both of them open and I will like cut one thing with one and then the next thing that needs to be cut with this one. Back and forth, back and forth. They're getting the same use. They're getting the same sharpening at work. On this, the same strop at home, everything is the same. I don't know what is wrong with the US K390, but it sucks compared to the Japanese one. I have been told that the Spyderco steels that are in the Japanese knives and stuff like that get treated here and then it gets shipped over there and it's just put together. But then I've also been told that over there they do it all themselves. They have their own factory and they do everything themselves. I'm figuring that they're probably doing it all themselves over there. Like that's my guess. I don't actually know. If somebody that like actually knows wants to put it down in the comments, go ahead, because I've heard both sides. But I'm feeling like this got treated over there differently. Or it just got treated over there. Romy! Dear God. Every time. It's every time. The crazy boys and Romy. I will put one of them inside if they get too loud. Per usual. You guys know the deal. This is so different compared to this. So... it's Romy usually, and that's Nicole's dog. Why do I have to do this? Why do you think? Let's go. Oh, this is gonna be a long video yet again. Watch out. No, Kane, stay. Wow, this is getting ridiculous. Sorry guys, hold on. Romy, go ahead. Okay, let's do that. Sorry everybody. The usual interruptions, but Romy's out there now. She'll be quiet and happy. Okay, so these feel like 2 totally different steels to me. This K390 is really not feeling very similar to me at all. I'm having a hard time comparing this to anything. The Japanese K390. It's got a mind of its own. It's very toothy. It's incredible. I'm obsessed with this one, okay? Like, this is a great entry into the K390 world because this is really something good. This one, not so much. This is feeling like S35VN to me. It wants to take a glassy edge. It's sharp, and like when I feel it, the edge is sharp, and it's cutting through paper like crazy, and it can shave your fingernail, and it can do all of the silly things. It's a sharp knife. This one is glassy, guys. This one has had the same sharpening on here. It's glassy, and it's like a soft glassy edge. It doesn't have a lot of bite to it. And it's not that I don't enjoy it. This is good at some things that other knives are not good at. But like in general, this K390 compared to the US one, this one's blowing it out of the water. And it has nothing to do with geometry. Obviously these knives have two different geometries. Of course they do. I'm talking about literal edge retention, which you can differentiate within your mind in use. Like if you can do that. It has nothing to do with the geometry. I know that the Delica is thinner and slicier. It's the actual edge retention that is so different with these two knives. Now, the one thing that drives me nuts about the Japanese K390 is that the bevels came so uneven, it's like gross. So this bevel is like so small you can barely see it. It's like almost non-existent. This one's bigger than your mom's ass. Like it's just, this bevel is fucking huge. It's twice the size of the other one. So that is kind of annoying just because, like, please just do the grind lines, right, guys? Like, it's not that hard. Put an even bevel on it, on both sides, and we will all be happy. That drives me nuts that it... Stop. That it, is uneven. This one came perfectly even. The bevels on the American one, very... very even here. Okay. Other than that, the Japanese one is just so much better. And I'm going to have to do some research as to what they're doing over there to their K390, or like if anyone has similar experiences. I really don't know much about K390 at all. I try to not do a ton of research on the steels before I test them because I don't want that information impacting my thoughts and my test results. Like, I'd rather just say whatever's happening to me during the testing and then do my research after. That way I'm like saying literally what's happening, just like what I'm observing with my experiences, and then I can go back and be like, oh, that's why that happened. Like, oh, that's the heat treat. That makes sense. Like, oh, it clocked in at 60 HRC. That makes sense, you know? Like, I don't want to really know that beforehand, at least for the first bit of testing, because I really want to be able to notice those differences, you know, like with these. I can tell you right now there's something different. If somebody came to me and said that they're exactly the same, they were in the same fucking batch and came in at the same heat treat, I genuinely would have such a hard time believing that, because they're that different, guys. Like, this one is so freaking toothy and bitey and aggressive, but also, like, refined. This is a fantastic steel, and right away, this one right here, like, this type of K390, one of my favorite steels already, like hands down. I can tell this is going to be one of my favorite steels ever because it's that good. But man, if this was the only K390 that I ever got to try, I would be like, no, it's not for me. There's no way. This is not for me at all. So, yeah, very interesting so far. I'm going to obviously look into what is going on with these at some point. You guys can all put your 2 cents in down in the comments. And just another thing to mention, I'm always going on about how I like to support American manufacturers, right? I'm always going on about that. But I never once have said, like, that American-made knives are the best knives ever. And I've never said that you should only buy American-made. I've just said try not to buy from China. Hence why I have knives from Japan and Switzerland and Germany and all kinds of stuff. So I've never stated that, like, we do the best job here in the States, because we don't. Clearly, this is way better than this to me so far. And, like, it depends. You know, I have this other Delica is from the same exact factory in Japan, right, as this one. And this crew wear is some of the worst I've ever used. It's not, like, awful. But in the crew wear world, this is not the best I've seen at all. Like, you know, John from BGM Knives, that's really good crew wear, but I've used like factory crew wear without a custom heat treat like Benchmade and stuff, and it did way better than this did. So it just depends, like the Spyderco crew wear that they're doing overseas, for me, not the best, but the K390 that they're doing overseas blows this one out of the water. So just an interesting observation. We don't always do everything the best. Like I try to support us if I can, but like that does not mean that we do the best job at everything all the time, because we don't at all. Let's do an update in general on everything, because we're testing 3 knives right now. So close this up. We're also testing the Native 5 lightweight in SPY27. This is a very interesting steel to me. Again, didn't do a lot of research on this at all before testing, because I just want to collect my own thoughts, my own ideas from it. I don't really watch very many YouTube channels at all. There are probably 4 channels that I actually watch. I'm subscribed to other people because they're my friends, but like there are only 4 channels that I watch, really. I do not know much of anything about SPY27. However, so far, it's feeling like a well-done S35VN, kind of like a Spyderco S35VN, because Chris Reeve S35 is like so fucking glassy and just not for me. Spyderco S35VN, it's feeling like that a little bit. It's feeling kind of like an S30V. It's feeling like an LC200N a little bit to me. Through use, it is pretty stainless. I have just the slightest patina, like starting on certain parts of the edge. I left this in fruit juice and vegetable juice for like I think 4 hours at work straight. I just like left it on a cutting board, caked in stuff for testing purposes, for corrosion purposes, and we do have some staining, so it's not a completely stainless steel, and I don't know if it was ever marketed as one, but it's not completely stainless. It's pretty stain resistant though, but if you leave it in some shit for a couple hours, it's gonna collect it a little bit. But edge-wise, I don't even know if I could tell the difference if you handed me a Spyderco S35 and a Spyderco SPY27. I genuinely don't know if I could tell the difference. That's how similar they are. And, like I said, this is all my thoughts, my experiences from my testing, but that's what it's feeling like. I'm not able to tell a difference. And I do know that this is a steel that like Spyderco created with Crucible. They like created the whole build of this steel, and only Spyderco can use it, but I'm wondering why they made it right now. Again, not knocking SPY27, it's great so far. I love a good S35. I'm just confused as to why the fuck it was made, because like I'm not feeling or seeing any type of difference in comparison to like Spyderco's S30 and S35, like straight up. But maybe through testing we will discover more about the steel. I mean, you always discover more as you sharpen, strop, use, blah blah blah. So yeah, interesting things so far. Really loving all of these. Design wise, they're all fantastic. Genuinely enjoying all of these knives. I've been using this at work to touch up the blades. This is an awesome little pocket sharpener. I have been using the ceramic side for touch-ups at work, which out of all of them, this one has needed the most touch-ups. I think I've touched this one up like maybe once at work and once outside of work. This one, I think 3 times at work and 1 time outside of work. And I don't think I have touched this up at all. I don't think I've had to touch this up at all, really. But I'm also using this as like my fixed blade replacement, right? So this is doing a lot of the produce work on a cutting board. A little bit of cardboard too. I've definitely been doing some of the other stuff with it, but predominantly it's supposed to be taking the place of my fixed blade for a whole month. So yeah, those are the updates, guys. Let's talk about K390 down in the comments, please and thank you. Let's converse, because I'm very curious. Also, the other thing is, this one's not picking up a patina for the life of it, whereas this one is. Now, I don't know if I think I have mentioned this before. This blade was sent to me. Not the whole knife, just the blade. It was sent to me from a friend. And it was used. But, like, it has picked up more and more patina every time that I've used it. And it's, like, very clear and apparent to me that it has a patina. This one just isn't really picking too much up at all. It has a few spots, but, like, you can see that it's just shinier. There are a few staining spots and speckles, but in general, man, this one is, like, much more resistant than this one. So, just lots of differences I'm noticing, even though they're the same steel from the same company, in the same grind and everything. But, yeah, let's talk about it down in the comments. I think that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you on the next video. Go use your shit. Go drink a beer or some water, whichever you prefer. And I will see you on the next video. Love you all. Cheers.